सञ्जाना उपासते समानो मन्त्रः समितिः समानि समानं मनः सह चित्तमेष समानिव आकृतिः समान हृदयानिव समानमस्तु मानो यथा सुसभासति संगच्छत्वं संवादत्वं संभो मनासि जानता संभो मनासि जानता.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And over to Raghuram sir for the next proceedings.
Raghuram, please unmute.
All right. Yeah. Namaste, everybody. Dear utsAhins, welcome to this special event on the occasion of World Teachers' Day. Let us get inspired right from the heart of our esteemed speakers who are exponents in their field on the topic, Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery, which is coined by UNICEF. With determination, dedication, and commitment, let us all remember our inspiring teacher for 30 seconds and thank them readying for us for this day. Our time starts now. 30 seconds. Thank you so much. Lessons from the pandemic for school education are many. The paramount among them being an urgency for a collective understanding of some of the key reforms that are needed in our post-pandemic new normalcy, mainly in the school system. Let us understand from our experts on this occasion on how we can take it forward in the new normalcy. As a rethinking in the school reforms, we believe that nothing will change unless everything is changed. Having a vision of the change, we want to see matters and can help guided discussion, debate, and ultimately put everything into action. We have today Mr. Amarnath, who is an academician, motivation speaker, and the director of Slate Group of Schools, Hyderabad. I welcome sir to inspire us. The stage is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Ancient Indian culture has equated teacher to the God. Teacher is the walking God that we can see on this earth. Hearty congratulations and best wishes to all the teachers world around. Teachers at the heart of education recovery is the topic for today. At least in India, especially in urban areas, over 70% of the parents as of now will not agree to the word recovery because according to them and according to the media overwhelmingly, there's no deterioration. Online classes are going on And if there is any decline, deterioration, negative effect, then it needs recovery. Everything is all right. Classes are going on, lessons are getting completed, syllabus getting completed, children are getting promoted, everything is fine. That is the thinking of majority of the parents today. For example, in Telangana, even in Andhra Pradesh, even though, of course, in most of the states in India, even though the governments have given permission, for example, in Telangana, schools have started from September 1st onwards, in Andhra Pradesh from August 16th onwards. As on today, an overwhelming majority of the parents are continuing with the online mode of education. So they will not accept the word recovery, but it is a reality. This is point number one, which I'm going to discuss. Very closely linked to this is the very relevance of the word teacher. As of now, as we are talking, millions are being pumped into electroencephalogram technology, into startups dealing with this technology. Elon Musk, for example, what they are trying to do, by 2035-38, human brain will be connected to the computer, to the cloud, and the knowledge can be downloaded. No need to go to a school, no need to go to a teacher, no need to join a college or university. All the knowledge required can be simply downloaded in a matter of minutes. So the very relevance of schools, colleges, universities of the conventional order, the brick and mortar schools, colleges, universities, and the very relevance of the word teacher is being questioned. Why I'm raising this topic? Because the answer for the first question and the second question is the same. So let me start with the second question, then finally I'll join the first question. I mean, hardly makes any difference. We are entering, the world has already entered the age of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is available artificially. There are machines, robots. Then where is the need for human being intelligent? Where is the need to acquire knowledge? When all the knowledge, when all the intelligence is available in a machine, why all that human beings need to do is to operate the machines. That's it. Beyond that, except for those who are involved in managing that technology, all others can simply enjoy their life. In other words, no, over 90% of human beings, their life, their existence, if it goes this way, will become irrelevant. So what is going to be the future of education? Future of this walking God on the earth? Are these things, schools, colleges, universities, teachers, going to be things of the past in another 15 years? Let me answer in an indirect way. Okay, the brain is connected to the computer. You call it brainwave interface technology, augmentation of learning, whatever technical terms you are giving to that. So knowledge you are downloading, information is being downloaded. Very good. Then why you need eyes? Brain is connected to the computer. After all, with the two eyes, we cannot have a 360-degree view. Maybe owl or some birds, they can do that. And as all of you know, our ears are not that powerful as that of, for example, snakes, dogs, etc. So with this new technology, we don't need two eyes, two ears, and where is the need for smell, touch, taste, dinner, lunch. Let me talk about dinner. Why do we take dinner? Why do we eat food? Is it just to supply nutrients to the body or something more than that? If that is something more than that, then why people talk about moonlight dinners, group dinners, etc. In Indian example, for Telugu people, vanabhojanas, going out and having a meal at a place, generally under the trees. Why all this is required if it's simply a matter of giving proteins, vitamins, fats, carbohydrates, etc. to the body? Yeah, with this technology, if your arms, if your hands, limbs are not that good, these days you have to eat more, take more protein, go to the gym, do workouts. So you can simply replace it. You can have an artificial hand, artificial limb. So you don't need your eyes, you don't need your nose, you don't need your ears, limbs. Finally, what is left out in you? Gandhiji said, machines tend to dehumanize man. Gandhiji probably didn't force it this far. It's not dehumanizing. Machines, if this happens, if this is going ahead in the same way, machines will replace human beings. What is left out in you then? What is human about you? Let me talk about intelligence. And now I'm coming back to the question, pandemic, its impact on children and all this. What is intelligence basically? Yeah, the intelligence that you acquire by watching, by hearing. Okay, online teaching, tomorrow's technology will surely augment it, maybe replace it also. No wonder. But what about social learning, social intelligence? What is social intelligence? An individual of any age, especially a student, a child, should look around, identify people, empathize with them, accept the realities, start respecting the realities, respecting the people according to their age, status. Status doesn't really mean money, overall. Okay, respect, love, care, concern, acceptance, all this is what makes human beings. Without empathy, without love, affection, what is the definition of human beings? Can somebody download affection, love, gratitude, even if these feelings are downloadable? Then right now, I should not be talking about this, but to give you more clarity, there are in the porn industry, there are a number of toys available to quench one's sexual thirst. If a human being can say that one doesn't need a life partner, wife and husband, they can satisfy themselves by watching porn or using the toys, then what is human about that human being? So this is all, it will only take you to busier heights. Yes, money is being pumped, companies are coming up, they will come out with all sorts of philosophies. Somebody talks against this, they will tell you are outdated, etc., etc. But all this is not going to be the future of human beings. Yes, technology is always welcome. Technology should be our slave. The minute human being becomes a slave to the technology, that will be the end of existence of human beings on earth. So after telling this point, now coming back to educational recovery, yes, in urban areas, because of online teaching, audio, visual learning was going on, but I'm interacting with thousands of children for the last 45 days in Tirupati, Vijayawada, 30 days in Hyderabad. Yesterday, we have taken our students of class 8th, 9th and 10th to a far-off place for trekking. You should look at the happiness on their faces. Each and every student came to me and told, sir, this is what we have been missing. After all, on a big screen, you can watch a forest, you can see trekking, you can see an island, but the very fun of going there, playing with your friends, sitting there, can this be replaced? If this is being replaced, this can be replaced by a screen and etc., then there is no meaning for the word educational recovery. So what is required to be done now? Oh, children, especially in India, this has been taken to busier heights. The digital companies have manipulated things to such extent that parents were terrorized, brainwashed to believe that all that is education is about passing grades, syllabus, etc. Children's childhood has been destroyed, 18 months away from schools. Their communication skills have suffered. Their confidence levels have gone down. Their interpersonal skills have gone down. Imagine a 6-year-old boy or a girl walking into the school. They never had social interaction beyond their family or the most joint family. For all these 18 months, first time in life, they should have joined in nursery. Now they're coming to class 1. So all the teachers need to focus attention on this phase set, namely social intelligence. I'm asking teachers to, I'm arranging like 30 minutes, 40 minutes chat period. Teacher will be sitting there just to ensure that no children are following the so-called COVID norms, but they should be interacting with themselves, chat among themselves. We are having special handwriting skills, special communication skills classes, outings, storytellings. The focus is on the enhancing the social intelligence, interpersonal skills of the children. This will need at least 6 months, 1 year, the recovery. If the focus is not on this, if the focus continues to be on the syllabus, completion of lessons and scores, marks, grades, then I'm sorry to say this, we are going to produce a generation of children who don't know, who have never seen the very meaning of humanism and life. This will not augur well for the society. This will not augur well for the world in general. So teachers must educate parents, must make them understand the importance of social intelligence. After all, we are human beings. Machine is a machine. We are us. So this is at the heart of educational recovery. Teacher should be at the heart of educational recovery, play a role of catalyst, a guide, friend, philosopher in this process. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Amarnath Garu, and it was fantastic. Like you know, you have touched the points of you know, we cannot fax a handshake, right? We cannot transform the feelings through the quality. And the one thing which beautifully we are going to take forward is teachers, the uniqueness of the teachers, who have to be the heart of the education, who has to help the parents to understand the social skills about it. Thank you so much, Amarnath Garu. Yes, my dear friends, nobody can inspire us as great teachers can. They seem to come along at just the right moment, at the right time when we need them the most. And great teachers show us things about ourselves which we cannot see at all. They see the potential in us that others, including ourselves, can't or won't. Above all, they give us the courage to find our own way with just enough guidance to show us that what is impossible can be made possible. And we have with us one of the great mentor, great motivator, great inspirer, Dr. T.P. Seshikumar, who is a life mentor, space scientist, educationist, and a motivational speaker. Over to you, sir.
Namaskaram, utsAhin.
Namaskaram, sir.
It's great to be with educators, leaders, listen to them, share some concern, idea. This time you have a beautiful topic on the World Teachers Day, which is on 5th October. I am celebrating with the Pan-India Teachers Panel.
Yeah.
We have 30 teachers assembling from Kerala to Kashmir to Punjab to Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
Recover, that means something is covered. So the question is, who covered this? There is a saying, Satyasya Vimukham, the truth is covered by a shining burthen. Thinking that something is there, you open it, but you are not seeing the truth. That is the problem. So while covered, if it is covered and discover, that is what scientists do. If we can discover it, that is better than probably recovering. We have to discover or recover, whatever you want to do. That means it is covered by somebody. And I think that is the series of teachers who have done. Now I am doing a series of Bhagavad Gita teaching, and today and last week it happened to be 4th chapter, in which Bhagavan Krishna himself says, it is not my knowledge. It was told by Surya to Manu to Ikshvaku, and during the time it has lost. So what has happened is, same thing happened to our education. The India came up with a new education policy. I was giving a lot of lectures and many people called me. One of the best colleges one of the oldest colleges, I gave a talk. And at the end, everybody said, yeah, you described new education policy so well. I said, I've not even touched anything on new education policy. I was only talking about what Rajendra Prasad told in 1950s. Is it so? Yeah, it's there. But what has happened? We always keep new policies, new discussions, but it's all recovering the old one and showing you as new. There is no great concern. I have written about how education has to be online 15 years back. This is adaptive learning, teaching and learning through internet. Nobody was there to take it because they thought it's not required. But now today, those people who rejected it is, yeah, there are a lot of developments, but how much is teachers developed is a big question, because they feel that their job is not to create something, they are only to part something which they learned from somewhere else. And you have subtitle called determination. If you know the objective and scope, you know what is to be done, I am sure determination comes. The objective and scope keep varying. The parents doesn't have, teachers doesn't have, students doesn't have. Unfortunately, my name is TPC, TPS, which stands for teachers, parents and students. But I wanted to tell TPC, that's actually teachers and parents are cheating the students, because nobody understands what the students want. Both the teachers and parents are instead of teaching, they are cheating the. It's very difficult. So unless you know what is that you are wanted to be, how do you get dedicated? How do you get determined? How do you get commitment? How do you put your heart? Whether you have to put your heart or head, Jnanam comes with the logical reasoning, analytical ability. I think no machines can do that. It's only keep saying. We have been talking about neural network, artificial intelligence probably 40, 50 years back when I started my profession in space department. We know what is talking in this department. It's nothing to replace human being. If somebody has misinterpreted, that's totally wrong. It's only to supplement, probably to gather something faster. The devotional jnanam, which can be totally used for karma. If you know the skill and you are not dedicated and you don't have sufficient knowledge, you will not be able to apply it in the right place with the right skills which you wanted to use it. Your presence of mind is lost. That is what exactly happened to Arjuna. Riju itself means straight. Riju means not straight. That means you are a trembling person. So Krishna makes him straight. So a violent person becomes a silent only when your buddhi, manas joins with the Atma, so that you become spiritually high. So education is not to give you a job. Savidya or avidya, put them together. You need physically, emotionally, intellectually, socially, spiritually to be higher. For which you need to have the creativity inside you. That is why we have in Bharatiya Shastra, it is not Saraswati as education god or goddesses. Saraswati is always wedded with Brahma. Brahma is the god of creativity. Hridaya guhala madhye kevalam Brahma matram. Inside your hridayam, if you think that it is manas, inside that there is one creativity which prompts you to be a real knowledge creator. That is why Vivekananda said, education is man-making. It is not man-taking. It is not removing your job. When computer came, people thought everybody is going to lose job. But computer has created more jobs than what is ever in the world. So I don't think people have to get concerned about technological development and what is going to happen tomorrow. If you are good, and everybody cannot be, you need to filter it. That is what education is for. Unfortunately, education is not filtering good people. They are giving everybody the certificates. That's what the problem is. So if you understand, it is not analyzing data, it is adding your value system, wisdom, all that together which gives you not an education which is plain for applying for your task. It is for viveka, vivechana buddhi, discriminative, disciplined way of understanding things around. I'm sure you are an experienced person. Otherwise, you can copy somewhere and then blah, 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 blah. That is what is happening. You have to understand, it is very, very essential to understand we are not machines, we are not animals. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunani samani chaitani nranam pashunam jnanam naranam adhiko vishesho jnane bihina pashubhis samana. Jnanam is not vidya. Vijnanam is very, very essential. And why do we eat? The question is eating again in 4th chapter, because it is Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa, Yoga. You have to have tapam inside you. The burning of desire should be there. If that burning desire, passion is there, I'm sure. What is lacking today is teachers are not able to make the students passionate. If you are not able to make a passionate, I'm sure, as you say, only 15 minutes people can listen. But today morning I finished a 3 hours talk. We had 100 people, not even a single person left to this. That is just because you make them passionate. You have that passion fire inside you. The teachers have, and students will have definitely. And that will come only when the food what you eat have got that energy which creates creativity inside you. Again in 4th chapter it says, Brahmarpanam, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahudam, Brahmaivate, Nagandavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina, Brahma Karma. Creative people have to be created. That is the purpose of eating itself. How many people understood this? I am not discovering something. I am only recovering or maybe removing the cover of what is there in Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of Upanishads. Why Upanishad is more famous than Vedas? Because when question is there, answer comes. What is your classroom? No students ask questions. I left a university job as a professor of mathematics because nobody comes on to video. When you ask them to respond, they will say, not a problem. Because they are not interested, they are not trained, they are not accommodated in discussions. There is no discussion at all. There is only one-way traffic of giving blah, blah, blah. And you conduct the same examination, ask them to write, they give you a certificate. So our education has gone to certification, not knowledge creating, knowledge making. If you can re-establish that, I'm sure the whole system is in place. I don't think any one of us are fit for that. I don't think no discussions can happen it, because the awareness can come. At least a few parents, as an experiment, a few people can start institutions which will become examples. We had once upon a time such examples created by great people. We have to re-establish. So that karma is what is essential. If you can do that, I'm sure the karma yoga with exactly what is required to make the jiva, the soul, realizing with the God, understanding that liberation, and that is the purpose of knowledge, and create such students who will ask a lot of questions. Today, if questions are not there, the quest is not there, I'm sure all answers will go vain. That's what is happening. So this one question is good enough. So I'm sure if somebody can motivate, if somebody can create the glory of knowledge described perfectly well, and that establishes this karma, which will become more stronger to create prosperity, Vijayam Sri. That is what the end of Bhagavad Gita in 18th chapter. Vijaya Sri will come to you. The glory will come, the prosperity will come to you. I think that's good enough from me. I don't think I have to explain much more on this. Thank you, all of you, for listening, and Gus, if something could be understood, it's great.
Thank you so much, Shachikumar sir. Thank you, as always. You kept us on the listening mode. And yes, 2 takeaways from your talk is skills bring knowledge to life, and knowledge give the skills a purpose. And no questioning, no quest for knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. And the transition period will have to be managed through a combination of digital and physical approaches to teaching and learning process. The blended pedagogy mechanism is now called a phygital. New terminology coming up. And educational institutions are expected to have flexible teaching and learning process in the new world we are entering, new normalcy we are entering into. So let us listen from Mr. Pembati Gelsin, the chief district education officer of one of the beautiful locations on the globe, Trongsa district from Royal Kingdom of Bhutan, on the steps his country has taken up to face this situation. Over to you, Pemba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raghuram. And a very good evening to everyone who's here in this platform. And I would like to wish every teacher a World Teachers Day, which is on 5th October. But for your information, I would like to mention here that in Bhutan, we don't celebrate 5th October as Teachers Day. We celebrate 2nd May as the Teachers Day. And that is also a very significant day for us, because that is the birth anniversary of our 3rd king, His Majesty King Jigme Dorji Wangshu, who is also known as the father of modern Bhutan. So we celebrate on 2nd May, and we have already celebrated. Though this pandemic, we couldn't do much, but through interaction, through Zoom and through social media, we have definitely thanked our teachers for the sacrifices that they have been making for our children. When it comes to taking inspiration, my talk is not going to be very technical. I'm not so much in this field. I'm not so good in this technical field. The 2 speakers who spoke before me have been very technical, and I have learned a lot from these 2 speakers, and thank you so much. But my talk is going to be more emphasizing on the things that we do in our country when it comes to educating our children. So, and the inspiration that we take is always from His Majesty, the present King, Jigme Gezen Namgyal Wangshu, who is like a god to us. And then he has always been very supportive to education. So before I start talking much, I would like to quote His Majesty the King. He had said that, "I will always support teachers throughout my reign. I will give you more importance and more recognition than any sector, because you are going to make the greatest difference to the nation, to the future of our country." So, you know, with this kind of quotation, with this kind of concern, with this kind of importance, and with this kind of love that has been given to the education sector, we are definitely very fortunate. And when it comes to education in Bhutan, it has come a very long way. We are still in the process of developing. We are still in the process of learning from people like the ones who have been speaking here. So, and then I think through this kind of interaction, we can also, you know, learn a lot, and we can share these kind of thoughts with our teachers. I have also been a teacher for the past 2 decades. Before I became the education officer here, I have been the vice principal. I've worked as a principal. So I have a little bit of experience on what happened during my time as a teacher and what is happening now, especially during the time of this pandemic. You know, everyone, every teacher, every student, every parent has had to go through this turmoil of, you know, the worry that how are we going to educate our children when we do not have face-to-face classroom teaching. And I think in a way, this pandemic has been a very good lesson to each and every one of us. We have taken IT for granted, technology for granted. We use technology for every purpose other than to teaching our students, you know. So I think it is a lesson, especially to us in Bhutan. It has been a very big lesson. We have learned a lot. And then having said this, during our pandemic, what happened was, because the students couldn't come to school, the government came up with the system of providing our students with SIM. We call it self-instructional material for each and every student, for each and every grade. We prepared the material that they have to learn within that stipulated time. And then these materials were shared with our students. And I think it may not have been as elaborate as the curriculum that they learn in the schools, but definitely I think it has replaced what could not be taken up during the pandemic. So, and to this, our teachers have gone to every nook and corner of the district, especially in my district. Teachers have gone there willingly, volunteering, and walking through the rains and muds and leeches and snakes, which is very popular in Trongsa. So they have taken the risk and to assure that our students are not left behind during this kind of pandemic. So they have sacrificed this. They have had small group teachings going on. And then I think because we could not have classroom-based teaching, we have used the mainstream media. Every morning, every evening, and every afternoon, there was a TV show which was emphasized only on teaching. The teachers in the field volunteered to come to make plan lessons and to, I think, disseminate the lesson through the mainstream media, which is television. And then and every day they assured that the students were there for this lesson by announcing, by sending SMS to each and every one of them. So though the teaching may not have been face-to-face, but I think during this pandemic, we have come to learn a lot. And then this is to inform you all that during our last year's National Day celebration, which was on 17th December, His Majesty had a decree to the Education Ministry saying that education has to be given the topmost priority. We have to assure that each and every child gets the best of the educations. Good is not good enough for our king. That is what he always emphasizes, and we are trying our best to live up to his expectations. So he has decreed that the children have to be competent enough to face the world. This may be one of the pandemics, but I'm sure in the lifetime of our children, there are going to be many other pandemics which could be worse than what we are experiencing now. So this has been decreed. Every school has been supplied with laptops and computer with fiber optic connection, in a network connection, and we are assuring that next time there is such a pandemic, we can still continue teaching, and the students can, our children can still continue learning. So this has been one of the very important changes that has come to our education system. His Majesty has been going all around the country during this pandemic. He doesn't bother about his health. He has been advised not to go around much because of this pandemic, but nevertheless, he has always taken the risk. He is always there for each and every one of us. He has gone to the nook and corners of the country. He has met the teachers. He has met all the students from pre-primary to students who are in the colleges. So he has met each and every one of them. He has given us the confidence that despite the pandemic, no matter what happens, education will be given the topmost priority. And I think because the inspiration comes from His Majesty, the teachers of our country are very dedicated. They give their best, they sacrifice their time, even their family time. And then I think this may be, I'm talking in terms of Bhutan, but I'm sure all over the world, teachers are doing the same thing. They are always concerned about their students, about their children, and in their thoughts and prayers, their students, their children are always there. So we also make sure that our students are well equipped when it comes to educating. But we cannot just give them laptops and computers and assume that they can attend the classes as and when required. So the classrooms, when these infrastructures are put in place, we assure that children are trained in the use of this modern accessories that is required for the teaching and learning process. So finally, I don't have much to say, but I just wanted to share what we do here during the pandemic. And post-pandemic, things have already been planned. And Mr. Raghuram asked me to talk about GNH, but I think I don't have the time.
No
Next
problem.
time, if you invite me, definitely
Sure,
I
sure,
would
sure.
love to talk about it. So
Yeah.
with this, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I don't know how motivating or how inspiring I was, but I would like to wish everyone a very wonderful Teachers' Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pombana. It's been like that, and you are very modest and humble in telling this. Thank you so much. And there were a lot of takeaways from your inspiring talk. Good is not good enough. That's fantastic word. Your vocabulary usage. Children to be, and I know the king. I met when he was there for the training, and he is very much outside the road. I mean, it's on the road itself always, and he loves cycling. Excellent. And education to be given to the topmost priority. That's fantastic. And sim, the new vocabulary, the new coin where sim, self-instructional material. Wonderful. And we have taken technology for everything other than the teaching students. So let us learn from this particular thing. And thank you so much, Pemba, for this. And now, education sector has been one of the biggest casualties on the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that. And challenges are emerging. And as we navigate through this particular new normalcy too, it is time to acknowledge not only our teachers for taking the new domain of online platform to reach out to their students. And Mr. Pemba was telling other way around, teachers bend themselves and also not to leave even a single child and suppress their, and students, we have to think about them, they are suppressed their feelings and not knowing whom to share their feeling, whether to the parents or to the teachers who are also in the same domain. So let us come forward and pass the gift along, and let us bring the energy, passion, and determination back to the schools together. And now let's listen to Dr. Denison Bole, who is a professional development designer, coach for many teachers, and an author and professional learning consultant for Northwest Evaluation Association, NWEA USA, and get inspired. Over to Dr. Denison.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Hello, and greetings from the United States. What I want to share with you today is some insight into what's happening in classrooms here in the United States. So dear educators, it's an honor and a privilege to join you today from the American Midwest. The Midwest includes states like Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa and Illinois and Minnesota. The time here right now is 7:15 a.m. So let's get started with a quick story. I'll read a short excerpt from a speech written by a 14-year-old student, and we can discuss. She said, the occasion was her graduation from middle school. She started middle school at age 12 and graduated in May of 2021 when she was 14 years old. This is what she said. When I got here, I wasn't sure about how school would be. I was no longer in elementary school and everything was new. Today, as I graduate, I think in a different way. My ability to process questions and express my ideas has improved. My teachers and classmates have transformed me as a person. I am a whole new person, like a butterfly transformed from a caterpillar. Let's analyze this quote together. The student said that she was transformed by her teachers and her classmates. To me, this means that the learning environment matters and the people matter. The teacher, the student, and the other students are all part of a learning team, and the learning team affects how much the student learns. Now, we have to be grateful for teachers because they design the environments where students participate, where they ask questions, answer questions, and contribute ideas. To prepare this short speech, the student also needed to reflect. And I'm certain that the educator colleagues in this audience are waiting to hear me use some of the education jargon. For example, to say the student engaged in the metacognitive process of self-reflection. And so the practice of self-reflection, though it is common in the East, is not as common in the West. And so today in the Western world, in places like Nebraska, where I am from, we are teaching students learning skills, and self-reflection is one of them. We want students to be able to own their work, evaluate it, and make it better. It is really an honor and a privilege to join you today to celebrate World Teachers' Day. It has already been mentioned that that's October 5th, but to all the teachers in this audience and all the teachers who hear this message later on behalf of your students, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for investing your time and your talent to ensure students have opportunities to learn. Thank you for being resilient and for persisting during this pandemic as you face challenges day in and day out. Now, I want to get the audience that's listening involved. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You can respond with yes, no, or I don't know. Show me a thumbs up for a yes, thumbs down for a no, or this sign for I don't know. Are you ready?
Yes.
Can we agree that teachers are special, caring people? That they are necessary for schools to function? And that they are vital to the recovery from the pandemic? I asked these questions of a professional learning group that I'm a part of. We call it a PLC, a professional learning community. And I'd like to quote my friend, Mr. Lester Telesford, a retired school principal from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in the West Indies. And here is what he said. He said, without teachers, schools won't work. Teachers always step up when there is chaos. And in times of crisis, they are the frontline professionals who deal with the confusion and frustration to keep the school running. So let us salute
them.
Teachers. And I made a special hat today that I want to put on because I want to celebrate. So here is why I want to celebrate. During the pandemic, the teachers were the heroes who saved our schools. It was the teacher who cared, the teacher who was there for the students. When classes went from in-person to online, it was the teacher who learned new skills to keep the students curious and engaged online. It was the teacher who replanned the lessons to use breakout rooms and polls and apps like Kahoot and Mentimeter and Quizlet and all these different kinds of tools that became available online. Some were there before and people just weren't even using them. It was the teacher who lost sleep and did extra work and used their creativity and improvised so students had opportunities to learn. It was the teacher who reached out to colleagues and said, I don't know how to do this, so I need some help with that. And teachers who shared resources to connect with students every day. Before wrapping up, I'd like to advocate for teachers and request support from principals and school leaders. I've been looking at some of the survey and focus groups that are happening now in the United States. This year, when teachers were asked, what can the leadership of your school do to support you? Teachers said, give us time and give us choice. So here are some ideas for school leaders. Schedule common time in your school calendar. Schedule common time for teachers to plan lessons with colleagues. Schedule time for teachers to discuss challenges and share best practices and resources. Provide professional learning opportunities to improve their skills. And when you do so, put the teachers in the driver's seat. Ask the teachers what will be most helpful to you. Give teachers the power of choice and listen to their voice because they love to be heard and they hate to be asked, what can you do to help me? And then you don't do anything about it. Final piece of advice for school leadership. Ask yourself in your moments of self-reflection and meditation, what can I do to show my teachers that I care, especially when they're under so much stress these days? Breathe with me as I close. Educational research from around the world shows that apart from the students themselves, the teacher is the single most important factor affecting learning in classrooms. Great lessons, regardless of whether they're delivered in person or online, require planning, creativity, and skilled delivery. Teachers around the globe delivered in 2020, delivered in 2021, and will continue to deliver into the future. So our students have hope. As we celebrate today, shall we give a rousing round of applause to all teachers everywhere and say, hip, 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 hooray.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Hip, hip, hip,
Hip, hip, hip,
hooray.
hooray.
Right.
And so thank you for listening. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dennison. It's being a beautiful, your spotlight on the most important thing the teachers have in the mind, and they never say this: give us time and give us choice. And scheduling common time in the calendar, wonderful idea. And moments of reflection and meditation, especially when under pressure, this will definitely help them. Thank you so much for this tip. Yes, utsAhins, and needless to say, we will be having a closing comment section after all the speakers speak from our Anirban. So every student deserves a great education. However, building people takes a lot of energy, passion, commitment, determination, enthusiasm, and excitement that we have seen in all the speakers we have seen. And we are going to see the special person here, the only lady speaker in the team today. And we have with us Ms. Nimi Jose, an enthusiastic educator from University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Oman, Muscat. Over to you, Nimi.
Thank you, Raghu, for introducing me to this kind of meeting. And it is for the first time I'm attending an international meeting like this. I'm so excited. I told my head of center of my university, and he was also very excited. He wished me all the best. And I was so happy to listen to all the speakers who spoke here, and they were all talking about how teachers, especially Mr. Dennison, it made me to think of all the difficulties we faced during this pandemic. Actually, I was going through all those things. He mentioned about the techniques the teachers used in the classes. Actually, when the pandemic came and the lockdown started here in Oman, we teachers were we thought that we are nowhere. We don't know what to do. So we had lot of meetings, online meetings. In that, we were given chances to attend training sessions for to learn how to teach the students, and we ourselves were students then. We learned how to train them through online, and especially language classes, very difficult. Actually, when I came to Oman, I was teaching in India, teacher-centered teaching. But when I came to Oman, I had a lot of mistakes, or my advisor was training me to concentrate more on student learning. That means to reduce my TTT, okay, teacher talking time. So maybe because of the influence of teaching style I had in India, I was talking more in the class. So by 10 years of teaching in Ministry of Education, I got molded with the help of my supervisors. And then when I joined this University of Technology and Applied Sciences, I could easily cope up with the situation there. So we teach the language skills here, and this listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So the classes used to be very active. Usually teachers talk very less, and we make students to do activities, and it was very active. And suddenly when this pandemic came, we were trying our best to make the classroom active. Okay, so as Mr. Dennison said, we used some techniques like class kick, then some techniques for the students to talk in the class. Then, so all these things were new for the students. There were many students in my side, my part of Oman, that is Niswa. There were many students without laptop. People of other countries may think that Oman is a very rich country. Yes, it is a rich country. There are many students in our part of this Oman, very poor students without laptops, without these internet facilities. That means very remote villages. So, but the Sultan of Oman, he distributed laptops to different students, and some students in the remote villages were given a chance to come to nearby cities, maybe to their cousin's house or something like that. So they were also able to attend these classes. So it was like in this Teachers' Day, when we celebrate, he appreciated teachers very much. So I was feeling blessed, and I was feeling so happy that there are people who understand the struggles of the teachers. So night also, we were preparing activities to make classroom very active. Otherwise, there are, as he said, self-reflection form for the students to write. So in that form, I don't want my student to write the class was bad, or I didn't learn anything from the class. I didn't get any motivation from my teacher. So I don't want my students to write like that. So myself and also my colleagues, I know we used to discuss things together. So we were trying our best how we can make our class active, how we can make our students motivated so that they will not get bored. And here one thing is there, as it is an Islamic country, students are not allowed to open their camera. So do you understand? In the beginning stage, I was feeling like I'm teaching walls because I cannot see my students. So I went and complained to my head, so please make these students to open the camera so that we will feel like we are teaching the students. Then he said it is not allowed in our part of this Oman. So it is a very, very strict Islamic region here. So, okay, agreed. So my next, or our teacher's next step was to how to make them active without appearing on the camera. So wonderful things. Now also we are continuing with online teaching, and they are not allowed to open the camera, but with all those techniques, as Mr. Dennison mentioned, we are trying our best to make students active in one way or other. The best part of this pandemic and this online teaching is me as a teacher learned many things. Okay, by this 1 year, I don't know what all new applications I learned to use in the class. There is a big list of things. Okay, so all these things, all these applications we are using in the class, like My ELT, Class Kick, to do activities in the class. And the students started using it very well, and our teachers are happy, students are happy, and their students are writing the reports that they are happy with the teaching, but they miss the classroom very much. That is the face-to-face meeting and all those things they are missing, but learning part, they are happy. We got a good result last semester also. We started our new semester last week. And on this day, Teachers' Day, I wish all the teachers a very, very good Teachers' Day. And kudos to all the teachers and who all are listening to me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nimi, for a wonderful, wonderful talk. And you said that you cannot talk, and you talk so much. It's fantastic, and thank you. And one thing we are ready to listen from you. How did you make the children to involve? You said they are not visible, right?
Yeah, we know that they are present there.
Okay.
So I give some activities.
Okay.
I can show something on we use MS Teams in the class.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I give them some pictures, and I motivate them by giving some clues.
All right.
And they will speak in the class. Now we are fine. In the beginning, there were some troubles, but now we are perfect in that.
Here, the teachers are still struggling. They say that camera is not working suddenly, or audio is not at all working suddenly, right?
Yeah,
the only
no
way
camera from the students.
All right.
Only during exam. During exam, what they do is girls only, boys only.
Okay.
Teaching time, boys and girls together. This is the main thing. They are not opening the camera. Boys are there.
All right. Thank you so much, Nimi, for your time, and thank you everybody. And now I invite Mr. Anirban to do the closing comments. Thank you. Over to you, Anirban.
Thank you, Raghuramji, for the wonderful conduct of the event, and thank you all the wonderful teachers and speakers for really, your enlightening words. However, most importantly, thank you to all the teachers everywhere around the globe, not just here amidst us today, but even people who will possibly be watching this later, and all my teachers right from childhood. A heartfelt gratitude to every one of you for making this world a beautiful place. Education is not the filling of a pail, it's about the lighting of a fire. And the fire should be within the hearts of the pupils, the participants of learning that we as teachers are touching. Every good teacher must learn to touch lives in a manner in which they give them the gift of asking the right questions rather than having the right answers. There are many questions that humanity doesn't have answers to today. But can we as teachers build that inquisitiveness in them, build the curiosity and the love for learning and discovering, that they go uncover, discover, and invent things that humanity doesn't yet know, but will make humanity a better civilization. A good teacher inspires hope, ignites the imagination, and instills the love of learning. And I think that was the message that I can summarize between all of our speakers today. We started off with Shri Vasireddy Amarnath ji, who speaking on the theme of teachers at the heart of education recovery, focused around why technology augmented learning can bring knowledge and information at anybody's disposal into the near future. But what is further needed than that is social learning, emotional learning, where students need to be taught, especially school children and college education needs to teach in people social intelligence, the ability to understand humanity and feelings, and the focus around respect, love, care, and acceptance, which oftentimes, at least the machines of today, cannot deliver. He also warned both parents and teachers against the terrorizing of the educational abilities and the educational media today, where children's lives are crippled by only digital and technology augmented education, where children are not really getting exposure to nature. The best learning happens amidst nature, like he pulled out an example from how a trekking experience can improve a child's observational capabilities, auditory capabilities, the capabilities to appreciate teamwork and going along with each other, not just shining alone. So social intelligence was the focus of his talk. We then had Dr. T.P. Sasikumar, who called out the important aspect of the art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. And he spoke of not just have you to recover, you may sometimes just have to uncover truths that have always been around, but you have neglected, or discover truths that have always been around. He picked up quite a few examples from the Sanatana Dharma scriptures, especially taking the Upanishads, for example, and showing how question-answer oriented, the discussion mode of learning was more effective than the instructional mode of teaching that the Vedas adopted. And that's why it became more popular. He also spoke about how teachers make passionate and creative pupils if they can teach in them the love of learning. And that's where he focused around the importance of the inquisitive spirit. We had Mr. Pemba from Bhutan, who spoke about how the royal king of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Wangchukji, has gone about improving the quality of education even during the pandemic by ensuring three things. A, ensuring that the right technology was made available, like the establishment of better telecommunication and optic fiber networks, pushing his teachers to guarantee that good is not good enough, make it better, and asking the teachers to ensure that every student gets their lessons delivered through crisp modules that will cover up for classes that were missed during the pandemic, and how even the national TV and media channels were used to disseminate information into the remote places where the modules could not be reached directly. I think that was some of the inspiring learnings that we get from Mr. Pemba's session. We then had Dr. Dennison joining us from the US, where he spoke about a small quote from a 14-year middle school graduates graduation ceremony, which reflects on the metacognitive ability of self-reflection and self-realization. How a girl goes about saying that today I'm a different person altogether because I know how to appreciate questions and I know how to appreciate my abilities. And there he again focused on the importance of thanking the teachers who've been the real heroes of the hour, ensuring that lessons get replanned, ensuring that creative ways of learning and teaching and making learning more effective in virtual medium is learned. And he went ahead also to say that teachers need to be able to seek help where they don't know, reach out and seek help wherever you don't know. He also requested educationists to give their teachers the time to reflect upon two things. A, finding newer, innovative ways of delivering and doing their work better so that teachers can seek for the right amount of time and choice in their regular schedule. And if this time and choice is given by educationists to teachers, teachers can actually reflect and make their teaching methods better, their the ability to reach their learners better, and in this process, overall improving the quality of learning. But for that, the teachers also have the ownership of asking the right support. And our last session today was by Ms. Nimni from Oman, who spoke about why it is important today to reduce the teaching learning gap by improving self-discovered learning. And she too spoke about how during the pandemic, making remote classes interesting and interactive was by reducing the amount of airtime by the teachers and improving the amount of think time by the students. And that's where she spoke about a few self-reflective and activity-driven learning items, which also were paired up with what is called as paired learning, where students in pairs learn together. I think those were the summary of messages, and the International Teachers Day, which is primarily aimed at appreciating, assessing, and improving educators all around the world. Truly, I think we have been able to do justice to it with teaching practices from different parts of the globe. Thank you, all of you, our elite speakers who joined us here today, wished us, and thanked the teachers. With that, I'll close the closing comments and request Charan to please render the vote of thanks. Charan, over to you.
One second, Anirban, there is a slight change. We have, Mr. Ramireddy, who wanted to send his message to all the speakers. Mr. Ramireddy, please. Yeah.
Jnanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave namaha. All the gurus and the teachers all over the globe. Today I can see some friends. It's midnight in the Australia, and other side, Mr. Dennison from US. It's wonderful, enlightening, and my heartfelt gratitude to every speaker. I was truly, got stuck with listening. Of course, I just listen. I never speak because we have a wonderful team of utsAhins who speak and who make others speak to inspire. So today I would, like to thank most inspiring educators in Hyderabad, highly social conscious, Mr. Amarnath Garu. It's not a formal vote of thanks, just I feel. And of course, great mentor, our Dr. TPS. All the way Pemba from Bhutan, Dr. Dennison. Today, you made everything in the center, being the fourth speaker. Of course, Nimiji, wonderful enthusiasm. Your subtitle, enthusiast educator. Many teachers got inspired. So we have got wonderful people. And before I go, I would like to put my sincere apologies on behalf of our technical team. YouTube is got some technical stuck. It is not live now. So this is being recorded. It will be made available to all those people who are here and not here. This is my first thing. And I don't have to speak, just I wanted to thank verbally. Of course, I was thanking all the from my heart. And it reminded me all my teachers, all my colleagues, all my, utsAhins really are fortunate. So we are very fortunate today. So 2 days ahead, we have World Teachers Day and we are celebrating on wonderful Sunday. And one thing, we have 1 or 2 people, actually they are texting and there. If anybody, actually our show goes for 1 hour, but whenever it is special, it is 75 to 90 minutes. With due respect to all the speakers, that okay, another 2-3 minutes, then maybe 1 or 2, they want to, we have Mr. Madhukar Garu, Anil Kumar Garu, Mr. Kut from Trinidad. There are some people all over the globe. Anybody would like to respond for maybe for 20 seconds or 1 minute, because they're excited and curious to respond. So anybody interested? Anil Kumar, sir, would you like to? So, sir, please unmute.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Anil Kumar Garu is having his own schools from the last around 3 decades. He's having in the field of education. He's also part of Telangana Recognized Schools Association core member, and also the India Progressive Schools Federation General Secretary. Sir, please, would you like to respond on the this
Sir,
thing?
good evening to one and all, sir. My best wishes to all the teachers on the eve of this International Teachers Day. So we should be proud to a teacher as a teacher. In this pandemic, we taught all the children by physical and online teaching. By this service towards the education, children did not lost their academic year, and it was not zero academic year. For their hectic efforts, all the teachers should feel that we too are frontline warriors and serve the nation in the field of education. My best wishes to one and all. Thank you being a part of this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for wonderful wishes. And before I hand over it to you, I just recollect what I learned, that it reminds me of, teacher is always, especially the hit point of Dr. TPS, because sometimes I keep listening his sessions and some videos that he shares with me. So always I learned this, say yes to 3 yes. You might be knowing it, but maybe just I wanted to, out of my curiosity, I'm sharing it. Yes to 3 yes as a student, because we know as a teacher's perspective, we are student. The S to 3 yes is first is Shraddha, that is focus or the concentration or the ultimate thing that we need to have to learn something. And save attitude, you know that as many speakers told, without having the nature of helping the teacher or the classroom, you will not having the right knowledge that happens to us. And Sambandha, competition is a negative word. Now it is all about the collaboration. It is all about the sharing with the children. That's what we call it, peer learning and all. And as a teacher, again 3 yes that I would like to share, that is show the ha, that is researcher. Teacher is always a constant researcher. They cannot just put whatever it is there in their mind or in the book. So they have to keep continuously researching, show the ha. The second thing is sneha, means teacher is, sorry, there is a power issue here. So teacher is sneha, is a friend. So teacher has to open heart. Actually, I learned it, I feel it, that more than the mind to mind, it's all about heart sharing. The knowledge happens, the student-teacher relation is between the heart and heart. So that is the sneha. And finally, that samskara. Whatever you want, you are expecting the child to blossom, that has to set a role model as the samskara. This yes to 3 years, that's S mind I just wanted to share, because there are some utsAhins. It's not, and wonderful listening to all the speakers. And we as a utsAhin, we heartfelt, and we request all of you to join the hands, and we just putting our efforts to learn from each other, to creating a beautiful community So we keep expecting your support in the future, and we welcome to join the hands. And especially this platform is for all the people who are open-minded, learning and sharing. Of course, our tagline itself is inspire and get inspired, be and be loved. That's all. So that's all I wanted to share, and thanks once again. So namaste, Sangachatvam. Ochuragram garu.
Thank you so much, Ram Reddy Garu, and let us all have an English, the prayer in English, which we started in Sanskrit.
The utsAhin prayer. May we march forward with the common goal.
May we be open-minded and work together in harmony.
May our prayers be one.
May we belong to one brotherhood.
May our aspirations be harmonious.
May our minds be in unison.
May we strive to reduce disparity.
May we be bound to strong fellowship and unity.
Sangachatvam.
Unity.
Sangachatvam.
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 All right, thank you so much, everybody, and may I request Mr. Charan to extend the vote of thanks, please. Charan.
Thank you, dear utsAhin, and for giving me an opportunity to present the vote of thanks today on this special occasion. And what an enthralling session it was, and I'm sure everyone here, it was a great tribute to all the teachers on this special occasion of World Teachers Day. And I would like to firstly thank our first speaker, Mr. Vasireddy Ammanath Garu. Sir, your focus on special aspects of child's education, it was a great learning, sir, and it definitely touched each one of us. And thank you, sir, for inspiring us with your thoughts. Our next speaker, Dr. TP, teacher parent Seshikumar, sir. It's wonderful having you with us again, sir. Your emphasis on teachers' development and teachers having an attitude of service and putting heart and soul into education, educating the students. Loved your words. Education is a man making which is going to create a lot of opportunities. Thank you, sir. And as always, it was perfect and spellbound with your speech. Our third speaker, Mr. Pemba Gaisen, all the way from the Royal Kingdom of Bhutan. It's wonderful having you with us today, and thank you for sharing all your experiences being an educator and how we can use technology, and your implementation of new routes and learnings in the pandemic was really commendable, and thanks for inspiring us with your journey, sir. Our next speaker, Dr. Denison Polo, all the way from US. It's great having you with us, sir. It was really unique and wonderful starting with the story of your own student. And as you said, as you said, we have to be grateful to all the teachers and for the great things they do. Your three questions definitely are thought-provoking. Yes, let's salute to all the teachers who traveled an extra mile so that the students can continue the momentum and can build a hope. Inspired, sir, thank you for taking your time to join us today. Next, Ms. Nimi Jose, all the way from Oman. Thank you for sharing all your experiences during this pandemic and updating your own schools and going an extra mile so that the students can be active, become active, and having all the challenges and facing all the hardships, you made it possible. Thank you, ma'am. And proud having you with us. And special thanks to our utsAhin Ram Reddy sir for always being there and inspiring us. Raghuram sir for being a wonderful facilitator today. Anirban sir, you always rock and make your presence with your closing comments. I proudly want to announce and thank our media partners TV Asia for always being available to utsAhin. And thank you, dear utsAhin, for choosing the right topic on this special day. Teachers at the heart of education recovery with determination, dedication, and commitment. And special thanks to each teacher in this world. A big thank you for putting your put your heart and soul for building a better nation and for making this world an amazing place to live. So thank you very much. Over to Raghuram, sir.
Thank you so much, and may I request everybody to please stand up for the national anthem and let us finish it off.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत